to our next Let's Talk Swimming episode. Today we talk about one specific style. I heard so much about it. It has, I don't know how many names it has. So we have a normal freestyle, which is very even on both sides, breathing every third time or every second. That doesn't really matter there, but the movement is very, very stable on both sides, high elbow and whatever. And then we have this more sprinter version or sprinting version, which is more like a windmill, not windmill in a bad connotation. It's more windmill in a swim movement where you have arms straightened out. You see it a lot in sprints. Flora Manadou and Ben Proud and all these sprinters. They're swinging their arms to the front, and it's like a propeller, such as that. Straight over. I mean, they have a bit of a delay on the front, but it's not directly a windmill or propeller, because that would say that it's counter weight. It's a bit delayed on the swing, but there is one in the middle. First person to do it first person known to embed it in his style was Matt Biondi. It's the hybrid freestyle. I heard gallop freestyle. I don't know, whatever. Do you have another name for it, or do you know another name for it?
I'd call it the gallop.
It's a gallop. Oh no, another one I heard was hiccup freestyle or something, because you have like this hiccup. Gallop and gallop actually some sort of comes the closest, I think. Hybrid, I know why hybrid, but that's a different story. But gallop freestyle, you do it yourself, or is it something you do? Which distance you would do it, and what is it actually? Like, let's say, do you do it yourself?
I do. I would probably quite often do it on the back end of a 400 IM, or any kind of middle distance freestyle. Maybe sometimes also actually a bit of a 200 as well. How about for yourself?
For myself, it's really 200 upwards to 1500. There at some point the legs get less, so get turned off a bit, but that is more specific to the distance, because you can't, like, not a lot of people can keep up a 6-speed kick because it's not efficient for them. It makes you tire more, but it's mainly for 200 and 400 to have the certain speed to move forward for me.
So my next question for the audience is, why do you do it?
Why do I do it? It's just simply, it is faster for me. It is faster because you have, it also takes more energy, but that's why not a lot of, not everyone can do it, or you can only do it at a certain level, or for me, I can only do it at a certain level of fitness. It is faster because you have a simultaneous pull, some sort of, and you sort of throw yourself to the front and always further. It's similar to galloping in a horse. Gallop is also the fastest speed on a horse, if I'm not mistaken. Don't get me wrong there, but that is it. So for me it's faster, it's more efficient for that type of thing, because if you would do it for sprint, you can sprint with it too, and some people do, let's say 100 or 50, but then I guess this delay of this gallop would be hindering, so it's much faster to turn like a wheel instead of having this movement. And so that is why I do it, or for me it's better. Why for you? Is it faster?
Yeah, I find to swim my best, I need to keep up my rate and my rhythm. And for me to be able to maintain that, I need to breathe every stroke. And to breathe every stroke, the most effective and efficient stroke or style for me is implementing that kind of a gallop freestyle.
Yeah.
So I think that's one point as well. A lot of people would maybe get too focused on trying to breathe bilaterally, or every 5, or breathing every 4. You look at a lot of the top freestylers that are doing this gallop, they are breathing every stroke. And we need oxygen in our lungs to be able to then continue to push through and push as hard as we can. So doing that kind of delayed gallop gives you an opportunity to get a big mouthful of oxygen in, to then hopefully maintain and hold off that fatigue for as long as you can. How about for yourself?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, as I said, hybrid freestyle has shaped, or like galloping has shaped my way of breathing. Like, and I started out swimming also, was trained to have bilateral breathing. Like every third stroke, I would breathe on one side and then the other side. And obviously it's shaped because you get more muscles, so it helps you when you have you're more muscly and you have the strength to do the gallop. It will always faster, and you can generate a certain speed, and that has shaped also my way of breathing to the right side all the time. Needless to say, you need to be able, when you breathe to the right side all the time, you need to be able to also, when you slower and you have this catch-up movement, or like the way I swim, you need to have it equal on both sides, even on the side where you don't breathe. Hybrid freestyle or the galloping is more like a movement where you have one side, the leading arm, where you don't breathe, which has the longest stroke and the longest time when it's in the water, and then you have the shorter time where you breathe on the other side, and it's really just throwing to the front and some sort of making it more efficient for me in the end. But as I said, it needs to be trained. You need to be very fit to do it. So I can't, like when I had like just after, let's say back in the days when I had summer break, or like these 2 weeks off where we didn't go swimming, and then you come back and you start your new cycle, I couldn't straight away go into the galloping because I wasn't fit enough. It would take too much energy to be there, so you needed to build it up. Now, since I'm trained that well with all the Ironman training, it doesn't matter. I can do it. I can sprint it, and for a long distance, I usually use that rhythm too. To swim like that, to generate speed, and once I have the speed, I would go back into my sort of equal stroke swim and turn off my legs. But just to generate speed and speed it up, I would always use it. Yeah. I mean, as I said, gallop freestyle, as I said, I don't think it's necessarily for everyone to do it. I need to be very careful. There is not a lot of, but it has something to do with the muscle mass and the power can be generated. Not a lot of women do it, because the physique is just not there. You don't see it that often, although it would be fast. But as I said, if you don't do it efficient enough, it will more hinder you, or will be a disadvantage than an advantage. There is not a lot of women who do it. There are some who can do it, or have it some sort of a version of it, Kate Ledecky, for example. But the rest is more on the equal side, and it's more balanced out. Has also something to do with, that is the other thing which is in the hybrid freestyle very important, is center of gravity for men is different than for women. And there it plays a big role as well. Center of gravity for women is in the hips, like in the stomach area, and like a lower body area, like really very much in the middle of the body itself. And for men, it is in the chest. There is center of gravity is there. That means that by throwing us over that hurdle, it makes more sense that we create this motorboat position, and then we have the center of gravity out of the water and just push it to the front and always throw it to the front. So it makes more sense for that. That's mainly one of the main reasons why women don't do it and men do it. Plus also physique, energy, muscles, and all these kind of things.
Yeah.
I mean,
good analogy, well explained.
Sorry, it took your time for speaking, but I had so many conversations about it. It's why do you do the galloping? Oh, it looks weird, or it doesn't look right, and whatsoever. And look, but would you actually? When would you start with galloping? Like, let's say you have a master swimmer, and he says, "Oh, I want to get faster." Would you go and say, "Try galloping"? Come.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It depends on how good they are, I guess, because it's quite a hard thing to master. And as you've explained, like, it can actually slow people down if you're not doing it correctly. So you've just got to practice and try it in training, see whether you can benefit from it. And again, like, you can just go, if you're still wondering what it is or how it is, just go and have a look at some of the top world-class men 200, 400 swimmers at the moment, and just look at the technique that they're doing. That's what the kind of thing that we're talking about.
Yeah. I think it's nice to look at for us. I mean, because it's very powerful and whatsoever, but it's not something which is a general fit to everyone. I think that is mainly it. As I said, it takes some training. You need to be a good, experienced swimmer, and I think, again, we have other things which you need to look into more than the galloping. But just as an explanation, what it is and where it comes from, and to have that. Was a short one. I talked a lot, like I always do. And I think we have another episode where you get to talk a bit more. And thank you so much for your time. Oh yeah, guys, for listeners, don't forget Scale Swimming. They have a YouTube account, Instagram account, and Marcus Martel. I have the same thing. You're on my account. Follow us, like our stuff. We always appreciate the love which is given to us. Like, share, follow, view. Tell everyone about it. This for more videos to next time about Let's Talk Swimming.
And don't be shy to ask us any questions.
Oh yeah, true. Any questions, just DM us and shoot it in the comments.
No question is a silly question. If you're thinking of a question, there's probably other people thinking the same thing. So you tell us and we'll try and answer your questions.
Sounds good. It is.
Cheers.